What is going on, guys? Thanks for tuning back into another video. I did get some goodies for the Fishbowl here, so let's go ahead and open them. I already did open one. Boom, as you can tell. So let's get into it. You can tell this is a race equipped harness that I got. I did get a 5-point, but I'm not gonna run the center section for the crotch part because those are just kind of like uncomfortable to me. So, hey, go. So, yeah, okay. So, that's all. Throw that back in there. Put the sticker on. Where's a good spot for the sticker? Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Right there under the Comedic. I'll take up that whole little section. But, yeah, cool. This other box right here should be the intercooler. So, let's see if we can't go ahead and open this up. Yep, it is definitely the intercooler. This thing is nice. I haven't had a new one in a minute, but I'm kind of pumped because this one came with mounting stuff. Not like I'm gonna use the bolts, but I don't know if I'm gonna use these little tabs. Maybe, I don't know yet. We'll just have to see. But cool, yeah. It's 3-inch. 3-inch is the little like $100 eBay intercooler. It's the exact same one I have right here, but I actually got this one like 4 years ago off a buddy of mine for $20. And it's been holding up. So and it's beat the crap. Like it's like, I don't know if you can tell because it's black, but there's a big dent there. Dude, go. Come on, go. So, okay, well, anyway, there's like dents and stuff all at the bottom, and I'm pretty sure it might be cracked somewhere probably, but yeah, so we got some new goodies, and I did get a couple things for my truck, but I don't care about that really. Hey, go, come on, go. But, so the deal with this is, I drove it around. I did get obviously the training and stuff is done, as you saw in the other video maybe. But I can't drive it right now because we did have these little spacers. This is the motor mount side. This went here. I don't know if you can see that, but oh no. Okay. So that went there and it dropped the engine down about 1/4 inch because I was having clearance issues with the crank pulley. So the crank pulley had these big giant bolts in it, which are not those. These right here is one right here. Had these giant bolts in it, and the head is just way too big because after I took that spacer out, the engine went back down. Or it went back up. So every time the crank would rotate, this would hit on the frame rail. And the only reason we did that is because, one, these bolts, because of the ATI damper, and I got the new tranny, and I didn't want to, for the transmission bolts, that one and the other one, I didn't want to take those out and put longer studs in them so that I could put the spacer for the tranny side down. So when we actually were driving around earlier, the engine was leaning 1/4 inch. It was 1/4 inch higher over here than it was on this side. So it wasn't wanting to go into gear, and I'm almost thinking that is the issue. It just wasn't going into gear, and I was like, oh crap, okay, so I need to take that spacer out. So now that I took that spacer out, the crank pulley still hits. So we're gonna have to, sadly enough, we're gonna have to pull the engine up just a hair so that we can get a grinder I'm gonna get a grinder and like a flap disc and just kind of smooth it out and kind of take a little bit of material away off the frame rail so that the crank pulley can clear. It's already been clearance before, but that was with this, I had the H2B specific flywheel, and it was a little bit thinner. It was like 2 rows shorter than this just to fit a 4-ribbed or 3-ribbed belt. But I have a stock belt on it and an ATI damper now, so it's definitely a little bit bigger. So I have to pull that out before I can drive it or do anything. But I'm waiting on a buddy to get here with an engine hoist because I sadly do not have one of my own. So once he gets here, we're going to try and pull this thing up a little bit. I'm trying to just leave everything intact. I mean, I'll have to probably pull all the water and stuff out of it again. And I would like to just hook it up and then take the motor mounts out and just try and raise it as much as I can before I have to pull the linkage and all that stuff off. But I thought about just even pulling it and dropping the engine down, but I really don't think I'm going to have a clearance. I'm going to have to pull it up. So let's get to that here in a minute. Okay, well, I got the engine back in. Well, I never took it out. I just got it all bolted back in where it needs to go. A lot of people are going to definitely hate me for what I just did, but, you know, I don't even care anymore. I usually get a lot of crap for cutting the car up and stuff like that, but I got the crank pulley spaced out from the frame rail so it's not hitting anymore. Started the car up and took all this time pulling it pretty much the engine to where it'll still be the harness and the linkage and axles and stuff was still attached. I just kind of loosened all the motor mounts, kind of dropped it barely just a little bit to get the grinder, or not the grinder, but the sanding disc in there. And I just started sanding down that frame rail to kind of get the clearance there. But I was laying down and I was like, why don't I just get the dang, what are those called? Brain fart. Breaker bar. It's like, why don't I just get a breaker bar or something in there and stick it between the crank pulley and the frame and kind of just wiggle it. Not like hard, like I'm going to stress anything out, but just enough to bend it. Hey! Dog is trying to drink Twisted Tea. So, once I did that, because I had already sanded it down so the metal was a little bit weaker, so I was able to just put the pry bar in there and bend it back and forth, and it started to work. It started to bend real good. So now I got clearance, and the engine is level, and I shouldn't have any issues now. So that's great. I do have big news. I don't know if I want to tell anybody, but as you saw a few minutes ago, I went to the metal shop and I got that tube. Well, I am sending the car off now. I just got back from work today. I was in Montana doing some remedial work with my boss, but I've been trying to get back and get this thing going because I am sending it to a buddy. I had a buddy come over and he offered to do a new front end because this front end is all jank. And we realized after we took some measurements of the front end, from the motor mounts forward, all this is already all cut out. I was kind of like, I did that forever ago and it was stupid as whatever. But from the motor mounts forward is not straight. The driver's side is definitely weak now that I've sanded it and cut it up and beat the crap out of it. So this whole side is extremely weak. From the motor mount forward on the frame rail is dumb weak. And this one's just tweaked a little bit because it was definitely hit. You probably can't see it now, but right here, there's a little bend. It was hit here before. So the whole front end's out of square. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go ahead and chop the front end off right in front of the motor mounts where there's nothing that bolts to it.